boys, noise, and guns, and we like doing that. I still enjoy it.
Yeah, I know it's a really honored position within the police force to be a SWAT cop is a huge thing.
It's really a very realistic viewpoint of what it is to be a SWAT officer in a city like Los Angeles today.
Top Gun meets High Noon.
There's a reason why we got all these actors to come and do this. These guys were all cool actors. They get it, and they get what they're doing.
They're all complex actors. They're all smart actors.
When you go to cast the roles, you really want people that can bring to life those characters. And the first person that we signed on to this movie was Sam Jackson. I couldn't think of anybody better to play Sergeant Dan Hondo Harrelson.
His character works to live. When you see his house and his living situation, there are no other people there. There's no wife, there's no kids. He's pretty much dedicated himself to the job. He's proud of his accomplishments as a cop, and he's proud of his team's accomplishments because of the way he's trained them.
Hondo is the cop's cop. Sam's character left under a cloud, and because he was a good cop and because the city needed him, he was asked back to his former glory. His nemesis in this plot line is the guy that used to partner with him, who's now his lieutenant. So he comes back to work for that guy, and he's asked to get a team together. That's what propels the story. So Sam is the catalyst for all that.
There's a correlation between me and Hondo and the way that I try and lead by example. It's incumbent upon me to set an example for these young actors by, showing up prepared, to show up with a great attitude, to enjoy the things I'm doing, to help them from time to time in terms of getting a shot and making it right, to show them that I really appreciate this job and I appreciate the opportunities that I get when I do this job.
Primarily the reason why I wanted to do this picture was to work with Sam Jackson, because I was just a huge admirer of his work and just a huge admirer of him as an actor, and I really just wanted to be on the same set as him.
One of the main reasons why I wanted to do this movie is to work with Sam. He was a big influence on me doing SWAT.
For me, working with Sam Jackson is just really special. He's become somewhat of a mentor to me in terms of just someone that I can be around, that I can kind of look to and, ask a couple of questions. He's a veteran.
He's a true professional. Shows up on set ready to work, and he's also very helpful. I mean, there's been many times where I've been stuck, and he's offered his advice and input, which has gotten me through. And he's just very smart and very talented man, very helpful.
Brian's going to be, a major person in this industry, and I'm glad that I'm able to be a part of his development, as that. And hopefully, all the rest of these guys will feel the same way when they finish, working with me. That they learned something from me, like I learned something from them, just by watching them. And it's great to be around young guys. Makes you feel young.
He plays a kick-ass cool Hondo, huh?
And we needed somebody to play the Officer Jim Street role. Colin Farrell just felt like a great choice. He felt like a guy who could be the maverick, but could also be part of a team.
He's demoted, and the only reason that he can rise up above that again is because Hondo, Sam Jackson's character, comes back on the scene.
Am I looking at another day of show for duty?
Well, I do have one more spot. You think of anybody I might have overlooked?
Is it a game or a test, Sergeant?
Could be a bit of both.
I'm a little old for games.
So how'd you like to be back on SWAT? I want you on my team.
He's always been involved in the armed forces, probably always wanted to be since he was a little kid, and for the right reasons, not for the power of having a gun, but just to do a little bit of good if you can, and to be busy doing it, and to be, liking the action and liking the danger aspect of it as well. But he's a pretty simple man who's happy with his apartment on the beach and, going for a jog with his dog every now and then and doing a bit of surfing and hanging out with a few beers.
Colin and I really worked a lot on backstory. When we met for the very first time before the film started, we got along right away and ended up being, soulmates in some sort of weird way. Like, distant family. We really didn't have to work on too much camaraderie when it came to the locker rooms. We really wanted to try to put in some sort of history there, so I think we really wanted to make it real. Really try to keep it real.
Gamble assumes that he ratted on him. That's part of Gamble's troubles, is that he feels he was betrayed by his friend Street. Street is a damn good cop and a damn good SWAT officer, and he should be back on the force. He has to prove that they were wrong, he was right, and he belongs here. Colin, he's really become one of my favorite actors because he brings such truth to the work. LL has got great street cred anyway as a human being, and he brings that to his character too.
How you like that?
Suspect headed south, west of Defiance. One black male in Lakers purple.
What the hell you doing, Navy SEAL?
Put your hands behind your back.
Name's Hondo. If you like hard work, long hours, and getting dirty for low pay, I got an opening on my SWAT team.
How you like that?
I don't mind that at all.
Deke is a good cop, honest cop, strong son of a bitch. Just good SWAT material, good free thinker.
Deke is pretty simple. He's a SWAT cop who's very aggressive and believes in what he's doing, wants to protect the innocent, save people from harm's way, and he does everything he can to do that.
It's rare that these cops, SWAT guys, come into a situation that's not already volatile. So in order for them to deal effectively, they have to have good people skills too. Deke obviously has a rapport in the community.
Deke is a cool character. He gets to do a lot of cool things, jump over planes, shoot out of limousines. All of my childhood and boyhood fantasies came to fruition in this movie. See, this is what we do for a living.
Hondo's going through the files and he sees Chris Sanchez. He says, well, this kick-ass cop. I'll go meet this guy and see if he's up to the job.
Hey, what do you need, Sarge?
Sanchez do that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to like this Sanchez already. Spent 4 years in Metro, passed the SWAT class 3 times, been rejected by Fuller 3 times.
Bless you.
Ooh, sorry, wrong room.
What are you looking for?
Chris Sanchez.
I'm Chris Sanchez.
You're Chris Sanchez?
So Hondo goes to check out this Sanchez guy, and turns out to be this Sanchez woman who's just beat the stuffing out of a bad guy who was up to no good.
Sanchez's character is a female who came from Texas, and her lifestyle is pretty hectic when she arrives here in Los Angeles because she's pushed towards the ghetto while her parents are like finding a job or whatnot. And I think she just grew up seeing such, horrible things, because the crime out here is so bad, and it's really like no remorse, no mercy in the streets. So I think that kind of like inspired her to try to rise above that. I think that she just wanted to become a cop and make things a little better for her children,
It's always interesting to do a movie when there's one female character and there's like 8 guys. It must be very difficult, but Michelle is a fabulous, wonderful person who gets along extremely well with all of us.
Brian Van Holt and Josh Charles are 2 really smart, really thinking actors, and what they bring is, they bring the stuff that they're supposed to bring, which is, okay, I get this guy right now.
Boxer is more of a seasoned cop compared to the other characters in the movie. He and TJ, they're returning SWAT officers.
I played TJ McCabe's veteran SWAT officer. He's a sniper, really good shot, really cocky, a bit greedy. TJ sort of gets involved with this plan with Gamble and decides to try to take Alex and get the money, and sells his soul to the devil in the process. But I think he sort of gets in and over his head. He wasn't expecting it to go down the way it did.
I think we are a great cast with very different energy, and it fits very well. Of my character. He's very dangerous, he's very famous, very well known all over the world. So I kill a couple of people. And they arrest me by accident, and in fact, I make an offer. It's quite interesting for the bad guys. I just said, the guy who take me out of jail will make $100 million. $100 million!
The one bad guy, I had the fortuitous luck to make him French. And now we can look at the French again without talking about freedom fries and freedom kisses. And I've got a bad guy who's French. We can have some fun with it. Olivier Martinez plays the bad guy, and he's a great actor, and he's a very charismatic actor. And aside from being the heartthrob, he brings an element to it also that's more complex than the usual mustache twisting villain. You know. He's got issues.
Why did you come to Los Angeles?
I will give $100 million to whoever gets me out of there.
$100 million? What?
We put on a week SWAT school for the actors with live fire. We taught them how to move tactically together as a team.
Not often that we get to, shoot live ammo or see if we really could hit a target if we were aiming at it.
I get paid to do a job that I would gladly do for free. The least you can do, I think, is prepare as hard as you can, think about it as much as you can, and just do the work, and it's fun,
Each one of these guys really wanted to take on that role of being a modern-day SWAT officer. So the training was not only thrilling for these guys, but educational, and it was a way where we were able to let these guys bond together and actually become a real SWAT team.
It was a few weeks, and it was pretty intense. Randy, on-set SWAT guy, did a great job of just making sure that the movie has the realism of SWAT.
Where's the penetration point?
Up here at this wall. We're going to get to that here in 1 second. Let's put Michelle up here first. Now, Josh, when they go by this window here, as she passes, you'll pick the coverage up on the window, and then Sam will come around the corner as well.
It helps you understand these guys' jobs a lot better, and the amount of time and training it takes to be able to do things without thinking or to use your instincts.
What has to happen is this cable has to be hooked up here.
Exactly.
Is it going to already be hooked up to that?
No.
So then he'll have the ability to hook it up. Just come up along with a truck, tactically. Go ahead and run it up here like this with the cable.
Yeah.
Snap it on, do it that way.
You didn't have anybody covering that window over there?
You learn the lingo, the clear, the section neutralized and all that, and you get the hand signals.
You won't even flinch because you'll have done this so many times that that's going to be a usual noise to you. So you're going to be standing right here. When that wall goes, just maintain your position here until it's time to go.
They talk about different entry tactics and all that kind of stuff, and weaponry that is used.
Find Michelle. Be right behind me, moving like this. All right?
We're coming around the tree.
Sam is going to go out here and grab the cable.
I was going
and
to
run the cable up.
Meet us here.
Right? And after you guys do this, you're just going to get in this position right here, and they'll hit it.
We're actually doing what these guys do, and in certain moments like that, it's a little hairy.
They taught us how to clear a room, how to approach a suspect in a hostage situation.
You're first in the door? Oh, you're going second. We'll put you in.
They taught us just the procedures in how you would approach a situation, whatever that situation may be.
Bring them on in once. Okay, that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right up behind him. Let's let the shotgun go with him. Shotgun MP5. That'll be a better way to go. No. You're going to hold that. So Michelle, you and Colin are going to come together. You're going to go into this room and clear it.
Where is Colin's position when I see him?
So I'm
coming in third. You're coming in fourth.
Where are these guys at that time?
They're coming in this room.
Okay.
We had a great tech advisor, Randy Walker. He brought a team of guys that work with us.
What we're watching for is really, do they look like a real SWAT officer? Are they carrying the gun right? Are they looking in the right direction? Is their finger off the trigger? A lot of the little things that we've discussed with the actors since pre-production about how we do things. So we realize that they have marks and dialogue and other things other than SWAT to think about. So we're kind of there to help remind them if we see something that they need to do to help further that portrayal.
Probably like that.
You'll probably walk up and do one of these and then back here.
I think that's how we cut. That's how we cut you.
That's how we cut it this way.
No, that's how we cut the side. Let's pick you up over there.
I just spoke to these guys, the SWAT team members from Los Angeles, who are really on it. These guys are so focused and so by the book, it's not even funny. Gomez is a really cool guy. He's seen it all, man.
All these SWAT team members, Colin Farrell and Samuel Jackson, LL Cool J, and the other three, they were all very receptive to what we had to tell them. They would seek us out. Am I holding this gun right? Am I walking right? Am I shooting right? Am I carrying myself, equipment properly? They would come to us, and also when we sit back and watch them rehearsing, and we would say, hang on a second, try this or do this. We work with all of them, just whatever you happen to see, we would go tell that person, or they would come to us, whoever they happen to see, but they were quick to catch on, and they They look good. They look good from what I saw.
I always want to make sure that we're giving an honest portrayal of the people who actually do the job that we're supposedly on film doing. So I'm constantly asking Randy, who's our major consultant, if we look legitimate, if what I'm saying is something that would actually be said, so that when police officers are watching the film, they can look at it and say, that's right.
But Sanchez wasn't over here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And she'll be the first to see the guy.
No, Sanchez is looking for the door.
She leave the door?
Well, what can happen is, as soon as this wall goes, we can put her into the fray. That's not a problem.
What I learned from these guys, SWAT, how they go about doing what they do, what training is involved, and that gives it a sense of realism.
Clark was so open, so concerned about making sure that everything was done authentic, and was always asking us questions and making sure that if things weren't done this way, that how should they be done, and he would change things to make sure they were right.
I come from a family full of cops, so after talking with Clark, I saw a lot of respect for the SWAT operator.
Trying to learn how to drive like an PD officer. We gonna go-kart racing after this?
I've worked SWAT for about 16 years, from 81 to 97. The primary attribute that people are looking for is a hardworking police officer. They want to make sure that whoever they're picking is a dedicated, professional officer that's going to give 110% all the time.
My name's Lee McMillian, and I've been with SWAT for 7 years. For starters, it would have to be someone that's self-motivated, someone that knows what they want, that is willing to do all of the extra work that they're not going to be compensated for in recognition or monetarily.
My name's Mike Baker, and I've been on the SWAT team for almost 10 years. They're looking for people that are good with a handgun, good with weapons, physically fit.
Our training cycle is ongoing and progressive. It's a series of tests along the way, because there's not one incident that's going to incorporate all of the disciplines that we train in to work SWAT.
We also have a lot of training that we do as far as movement, covert movement, which is entering a building and trying to locate a suspect who's hiding and trying to do that as quietly as possible.
There's a lot of training involved, but in my own personal opinion, you can train forever, but nothing compares with an actual situation.
I don't remember what my first call-up was, but I do remember that I was glad to get it.
Mount up! We got the call. You know what they say, you're either SWAT or you're not. Let's try to get in a killing mode.
I am in killing mode.
So why are you smiling?
Because it tickles me.
It's kind of funny, I watched the trailer to the movie, and I remember Michelle Rodriguez said, what's the real thing like? And I think Colin Farrell's response is a lot faster. And that's kind of a pretty accurate perception of what's going on out there.
What's it like, the real thing?
It's faster. 60 guys that train together, that work together constantly, that are engaged in life-threatening situations on a daily basis in the city of Los Angeles. So there's a very tight bond there within the SWAT team.
It's a great group of people, and when the pager goes off or the phone call comes in, everything gets dropped, and it's all one group of people trying to solve a problem.
I think I work with 60 of the finest men on the planet, and we spend so much time together in everything we do. It is very much like family.
This is a tactical SWAT vest, level 3A, which is top of the line. The pouches where officers would carry their different equipment are interchangeable. It's Velcro and snap, so a person can change it around so they can move comfortably and get to the things that they need. These are magazine pouches for ammo. Just a variety of utility pouches that fit different magazines for the weapons. Our radio would go on the back. So that's pretty much it. It just depends on the individual officer and how they would want it to set up.
I can't believe that they do the things they do wearing the vest. It's hard for me to walk, more or less like run and jump and shoot and crawl through spaces and maneuver. It's incredible.
The front third of our truck is all crisis negotiation equipment. Our negotiators are going to try and resolve it peacefully using a hardline phone, or what we call a throw phone, which has like, I don't know, 1,000 feet of cord, and you can literally throw that phone through the suspect's window and give them a way to talk to our negotiator.
This is Rick from the LAPD.
The SWAT truck holds all of the specialized equipment that is just too big or too cumbersome for us to keep on ourselves, whether it's additional munitions or climbing gear, you know, caving ladders or poles. Computers, so that we can find out who we're talking to, criminal history, tear gas, flashlights, communications. It just goes on and on.
This is not the kind of group that you want to challenge, or, you know, I would suggest you surrender and, you know, live a rich and fulfilling life.
It's just a really gritty, exciting, popcorn-type movie, but with the reality of what it is to be a SWAT officer in LA.
It's an action film. Grand.
Get this thing in the air! For a bunch of bad guys sitting around, $100 million is, you know, worth the risk. You will be ready for anyone and anything.